Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Well, we're coming to the end of our Matchbox March celebration of 50 years of Matchbox kits, sadly. But I wanted to expand on something that we talked about in one of the shows where I did a demonstration of the very early catalogues. Because the catalogue, the very first catalogue in 74 I think was when they had a catalogue. And it came out, it was 73, I was right the first time. But it came out with model kits, just a tiny part of it, and it had everything up there: Matchbox cars, super fast cars, and play sets and motorway sets, and so many different things, including a sort of a glimmer into what was going to come in the next couple of years, where they were doing sky busters, little aeroplanes like Dinky. Well, they then later expanded into one or two things that were, again, very much in the sort of Dinky Meccano arena of the market, which was tanks, military vehicles that were around about, I think about 43rd scale, and also these Sea Kings, which is the ships. So, I mentioned I'm going to look into this. It's actually purely courtesy of yet another one of our subscribers, who is a very keen participant, a gentleman called Jeff Flood, who regularly participates in our live chat, and he's very welcome too. And he actually emailed me and said, "Oh, you mentioned you got one or two of these, I think it's the Chieftain tank and the M48 pattern tank that I was pointing out in the metal Battle Kings range," because it was Battle Kings for armour and it was Sea Kings for ships, obviously. And he said, "I've got a load of these and I've got some great photographs, I'll send them to you." I said, "Oh yeah, please." So he sent them through, and straight away I was back in 1976, immediately. So I thought, without further ado, we'll have a look at them really. All these are his pictures, and they're very evocative, and it's even reminded me of a couple I'd forgotten that I'd had, which I'll mention in a minute. So I'm just going to dull the light a little bit, and I'm going to zoom you in. Without further ado, we'll get cracking onto this. And it's nice again, he's someone else that's helped me out, also another participant that helped me out. Come to him a bit later on. So let's have a look at Jeff's lovely pictures first of all, and see if it transports you back as well. Here we go then. So I'm going to just actually flick to the beginning, if you'll excuse me. That was the one I had as the first shot. I think we have it. There we go. So what we have here, we've got the two tank transporters. Now, in both cases, I think it's the M48 tank on the back of some sort of Scammell transporter. A little bit tricky obviously to tell just from the photo, but they were very popular. Oh no, there you go. So he's taking them out of the packets. Now look at this. Oh yeah, I remember these. I didn't actually have this. I had the tank, but not the transporter, because I'm afraid that looking at them, I seem to recall that they were actually maybe quite expensive. I hadn't been, upgraded to middle class. I was just a poor boy. I could only afford just to have the tank. So there we go. But your heart bleeds for me, doesn't it? So anyway, there we go. Out of the box. Look really good. They've got these fold down ramps at the back, so you can drive it on and off. And they were quite robust. They were like the Dinkies. They were very similar, Good, strong. This is the packaging on the rear, which again has got some typical brilliant artwork. In fact, I've got a feeling that may actually be Roy Huxley that's been involved in those, but they've got that slightly Thunderbirds. Can you see that? A slightly Thunderbirds look to them, in the way that the artwork is. Slightly futuristic looking somehow. You might say a tad cartoonish, but I think they're quite attractive in fairness. Anyway, then we've got some interesting ones now, and I don't remember this helicopter, which is I think it's a Sikorsky basically. I don't remember that one at all, but I remember the Chieftain, which I had, but I had it in that very bright green colour, which you'll see in a minute. And I did have the M551 Sheridan. I definitely had that one. So, this is the reverse of the boxes again. So, Chieftain in the middle, and then the Sheridan at this end, although it doesn't really show it. Actually, it shows several of them as an advert on the rear of that one. Now he's got them out for us. Now this is where I definitely remember it, because does this helicopter fire? Yes, it fires rockets. Look, can you see that? It's rocket firing. That's quite interesting. The Chieftain, I don't think it fired as such, but they were very robust and they had nice tracks. They used to, you know, you could really run them back and forth, and they were very, very strong and robust. Perhaps more so than the dinky ones were, to be fair. But they were nice, you know. And there they are. Now we're talking about the standard packages now. So we've got the M48A2. I definitely had that one, and I had the Chieftain, I had these two. And then this one is the self-propelled howitzer, which I'm just struggling with slightly. What is it? 155mm self-propelled howitzer, okay. And there's the backs, and again you've got this really nice artwork, which is quite very similar to Dinky. Very, very appealing to the youngster, I've got to say. Lots of action and drama in them, very much like the Roy Huxley style, which I suspect, I'm sure he was involved in these. And then there they are, out of the actual boxes. And yes, indeed, I definitely had the first two Chieftain in that rather bizarre sort of extra metallic bright green style, you know. And there's the M48, which again, perhaps a bit loud for the battlefield, that green, I've got to be honest. It's a bit like Thunderbird 2, that green, isn't it? If you had the dinky one, you'll know what I mean. This one's a little bit darker, perhaps a bit more realistic for the battlefield, that one. It comes with some figures as well, which was quite good. They had a base. So yeah, they were quite good. They came with a few figures and things, you know, they thought it out. Now this for me is the very interesting one. You've got an RAF ambulance, a tow truck, and this one in the middle is the one that's of great interest for me, because I actually had this one for sure. This is K111 missile launcher. Now it always struck me that it was very similar to the Shadow mobiles from UFO that of course Dinky did, and it's got a rocket firing system which is awfully similar, which I think we'll see in a moment. Again, on the back you get the rest of the range with the other options you can buy. And then here we go. So what was I just saying about the rocket firing one? It's a bit dark, so it's a little hard to see, but you can see from the graphics here on the side, it's got this magazine of missiles and it's got a rocket projectile that fires in the middle, just like the Dinky one does. But this was nicer in that it had these rockets stowed in the side as well, on both sides. And the Dinky one didn't have that. It's also got this radar which just rotates as you go along, which is really cool. Then you've got a RAF ambulance, not quite as animated perhaps, or the truck. But they're nice, really nice items. Here's another one that I had. The hovercraft. Battle King's hovercraft. Hover Raider. And this one has its radar goes around as it runs along the ground, and the propeller at the back, this rotates as well, the pusher propeller. With ground-to-air missiles, revolving shaft drive radar scanner and propeller. And 3 infantry figures, look at that. Very cool. And that's the rear of it. Again, some fairly cool artwork, showing the bits that are rotating. They're a good product, these, and they were cheaper than a Dinky. Cheaper than a Dinky. There it is out of its box. Now then, look at that. Brilliant. I'm sure if it's my imagination, but the soldiers look like they're Prussians with spiked helmets. Is that just my angle I'm looking at it from? That's odd. They do look like World War I Prussian soldiers. I mean, it looks like an American. That seems strange. Anyway, it was very lively, again, very brightly coloured. This green, they were very in vogue with the green. And then we've got some of the sort of super fast sort of cars range, the general Matchbox cars. And he's got armoured cars. I had that one. This one, he's got several of it. Yes, I had that one. The Weasel Scout car. I had that. Don't think I had the Stoat. The Weasel. Another Weasel, I've got several Weasels. And then the Stoat. Planet Scoot, these are like a sci-fi style, aren't they? Oh, they're really good, you know. And there's a speedboat as well, look at that. Police car. Yeah, they're really good. Yeah, they were good. They were good, you know, of their time. Now we get into these Sea Kings. Now I had a couple of these, and I definitely had this one. I think that's the first one I got. Now the way they work, they had wheels underneath, so you can see here they explain it. The wheels underneath, so you can roll them along, and they were like at the waterline, so they look really realistic, you know. And I had the was a battleship. Did I have the battleship? I certainly had the frigate. Oh, I think I may have had a couple of these, more than I thought, if I'm honest. Anyway, what about you guys? Which ones did you have? Because they were quite good. They had turning guns, and this one's got phantoms on the aircraft carrier deck and so on. And I definitely had this one, as I mentioned to Jeff. That's the guided missile destroyer. Helicopter on the back. It's got 2 guns at the front. Quite a nice radar in the middle. It's like a Devonshire class, I think they're called, aren't they? Devonshire class or county class. Same on the back. And then you've got the submarine chaser, anti-submarine warfare boat. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They're really nice. They've got good colours on them. They were very, very good. And I don't think Dinky won't do anything really like that at all. So that's really impressive as well. Yeah, so the back's generally the same, I think. And that's it. Well, I've got to say, first of all, thank you to Jeff for taking the trouble to send those in. But they really did, straight away, things I'd forgotten. I never even mentioned these when I was doing the catalogue review. I just didn't remember them. But they brought a lot of pleasure to me, and I'm sure many, many of you. One other thing I should just mention, I'm talking about people that have been helping us. We've had, with Matchbox especially, we've had Pride of Matchbox. We had Neil O'Reilly, a friend of ours from, I won't say where he's from, but he's contributed a kit for us, and he's got something else in the pipeline, I think. Then we, of course, had Paul Hunter with all those wonderful catalogues. And then we had John Fogo with his Lysanders and his USS Indianapolis. Jeff Flood's come forward with these images. Something I've forgotten, which I do apologise for, it's because I've not had this in front of me, and I put it in front of me so I wouldn't forget today. You may recall that I had the Puma armoured car, which I should have got out for this show really. And our friend Jason from Model Kit Stuff, he's got his own YouTube channel, so I'll give that a plug and I'll put it in the description below as well. And he saw my plight when I was grumbling about my little Puma armoured car having no street scene, and he said, "Oh, I've got a spare one you can have. I've got a street scene that I'm not going to use where the armoured car was missing, or part of it was missing." So he sent me through all the little parts I need to do my street scene. So I'm extremely grateful to you, Jason. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I've not got round to giving you credit earlier. I've just been bogged down with all these other Matchbox kits. It made me forget, and today, as I say, I put it on my notice board, and so don't forget Jason. So he's got me street lamp here. Look at this. You can't have your Puma armoured car on the street without your street lamp, which is vital. And of course I never got this in my kit at all, so I'm missing. And perhaps even more importantly, look at the German infantry that comes with it. You've got your artillery commander telling when to fire, you've got your stormtrooper in the middle, and you've got your officer with his Luger pistol. Is it a Luger? No, I'm wrong, it's a Walther P38. If you can see that. Yeah, P38 the officer's got. Probably a captain, isn't he? Hauptmann. And then the all-important street itself, which is here. This is the bit I haven't got. No street, no fun. The big bomb hole in it where the mains have been exposed. Looks like the water main. And of course the actual pavement as well. So there we go. So, and he sent me instructions as well, which is extremely generous of him. So there we are. So yet another supporter of the channel, who I say has his own channel called Model Kit Stuff. Go and check it out. Jason's got loads of interesting stuff on there. I'm a subscriber of his, and I recommend him to you as well. Thank you very much. Anyway, to all of you, just want to say that model collecting is a hobby we can all now share. It's no longer a geeky, lonely, solitary, weird hobby. It's now something that I think has taken off in a different way than we all imagined, and it nearly became extinct. But the proof of the pudding's here. Matchbox March has been made much more special for me and for all of you, because so many of you have participated and offered help and some more subjects for us to enjoy. So there we go. Anyway, hope you'll give us a thumbs up. One more show to go in Matchbox March. We're going to have a little review at the end. I'm going to give my views about, I'm not going to give pontificate about which is the best kit, but I'm going to give an indicator of which one's brought me the most pleasure and why. So tune in for that. It's coming probably tomorrow, but very, very soon, so that's for sure. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you all of you for sharing all these photographs and kits and things and things to help me, like Jason did as well, and Jeff. Really appreciate all of your assistance. It's made it even more fun. I hope you get something out of it as well. Tune in for the last show. Don't miss that one, because I want you to reflect on my take on it and how you feel about which kits are the most special to yourself. Which ones are the ones that are your favourites? Maybe you haven't got them anymore, maybe you've gone out and bought them again from eBay or somewhere, and let me know what your thoughts are. Anyway, please tune in for that one. In the meantime, thanks very much for joining me. Take care of yourselves. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.